In this presentation, we will learn about the user-defined function in Python programming language. Function is of two types, built-in function and user-defined function. This video is based on only user-defined function. I divide this topic in two parts, part 1 and part 2. And these two parts are in two separate videos. So let's start with user-defined function, part 1. What is a user-defined function? A function is a block of code, group of related statements that perform a specific task when it is called. First of all, let me show you the structure of a function. Look at this diagram. A function starts with a def keyword. This keyword defines a function. After that, we have to write the function name. The function name does not start with a number. The name must not include any space or special character other than underscore. After the function name, there will be a first bracket open close which may or may not accept parameters. Then colon, and under this function name, by making an indentation, whatever the lines we are going to write are considered to be as the body of the function. So here I have written the body of the function. A function may contain more than one line also. The lines of code which are not within any function are considered as the main code. So the main code starts over here and the body of the main code must be written over here. And from within the body of the main code, we have to call the function by its name. So whenever we execute a program, the program starts execution from the main code. And when it encounters a user-defined function name, the control goes to that function and execute the corresponding lines within the function and then return back to the next line where it has been called. That's mean after executing the function, it will return back after the line where the function has been called. So after this function name, there is nothing, so the program will terminate. Be very careful, this function do not execute implicitly until and unless we are calling it from the main code. So there may be a more than one function in a single program. Let me show you another format. The function starts with def keyword, then the function name. Now this time within this bracket I have written parameters. That means this function is accepting some value and this value must be stored within some variable. And within the body of the function may or may not use those parameters. It may happen that the result generated by this function can be returned from where the function has been called. So after return I have written object name. It may be a integer, string, list, tuple, dictionary, etc. Now the main code will be as same as before, main code, body of the main code, and from main code we are calling the function name, and this time we have to send some parameters or the values to the function. So when the control goes to that function, it must have some provision to accept values from the main code. Now why we use function? What are the advantage of function? It helps to break our program into smaller and modular chunks. Function makes a program more organized and manageable. It avoids repetition and makes the code reusable. Now let me show you how to write a function. Let's take a simple program. Suppose write a program, in short I am writing WAP, write a program to find the sum of any two numbers. So what we will do now, first of all we have to create a function def. Let me write the function name, then add two numbers. You cannot give space in between the words, underscore is acceptable. So within this parenthesis nothing is there, then colon. Within this let me initialize two variables, say 10, then b equal to 20. Now let me print the sum of these two number. So this is the sum word is within inverted comma, then comma, and the mathematical operation is a plus b. Now come out from the function. Now let's start the main code. Print. Let me write a line before the function call. Let it be program begins. Let me write a comment line as a main code. This is actually of no use, but still if you write this you can understand yourself that the main code start from here. Now call the function, add two numbers. Now after returning back from the function call, again I am printing another line, program ends. Let me save the program first. Now run the program. Look what happened. Look at the right hand side. The output is over here. So whenever the program starts execution, it starts from the main code. So first of all, it encounters this line, that is this print statement. So it prints program begins. Now there is a function called add to number. Since it is a user defined function, so the controller will move to the user defined function add to numbers, and there the two number has been initialized, then the sum has been printed. Look, sum 30. Now after completing execution of the function, it will return back to the main code after the function call. So after this function call, there is another line which says program ends. So it prints program ends. We can call the function more than one time also. Next, function calling technique. So there are two ways of calling a function. The first one is the call by value and the next one is the call by reference. So first of all, I will discuss you about the call by value, and in my next video I will show you call by reference. Now let me show you parameter passing. This is called call by value. That's when you are calling a function by sending some value. Let me show you an example of call by value. As previous one, let me define a function def add two numbers. This time it will accept two values within a and b variable. By using this variable, it will find out the sum or the addition. So print within quote sum equal to a plus b. A single line within the function. Now let's start the main code. Within the main code, let's call the function add two numbers, and this time this function is accepting some values. For these two variables, we have to send two values. Suppose I am sending 10 and 20. So during this function call, two values are sent to the function, and these values are received by a and b variable respectively. 10 will move to a and 20 will move to b, and it will maintain this sequence of the order. So the first one will be initialized within first variable, the second one will be initialized within second variable. In other words, we can say that the function is throwing two values and a, b variables are there to catch them. That's mean a and b variables are initialized with 10 and 20. So when it executes the body of the function, it will print sum a plus b, that is 30. So let me run the program. Look, it will give sum equal to 30. This AB variable does not possess any data type, so it can be any data type. Here we have sent 10, 20, two integer. These are the two integer variable. Now again we are calling the same function with two float values. This time AB will now become a float variable because A is receiving this 5.236 and B is receiving 2.130. And we will get the corresponding sum of the two float variable. Look, sum equal to 7.366. Let me send some string, suppose ABCD, and the second value is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when we run the program, we will get ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4 along with the two above values. So in the last case, AB will become string variable. The values or the variable which are written during the function call are called actual parameter. So these values are called actual parameters. Parameters which are declared along with the function definitions, that's mean these AB are called formal parameters. From now on, we will refer these values or the variable as an actual parameter, and the variables which are written along with the function definition are called formal parameters. Now within this function we can also send list also. So list is enclosed within third bracket open close. Let me write down 10, 20, 30, 40, and let's take another list as 1, 2, 3. Now if we run the program, look at the output at the right hand side. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3. So these two lists has been concatenated by this function. So A received the first list, B received the second list. A plus B means it will concatenate the two lists into a single list. So in case of string and list, the parameters are getting concatenated. And in case of integer and float, it is performing mathematical addition or numeric addition. Let me show you about the complex number. This time also numerical addition will be performed. 5 plus 3j is one of my complex number. Another complex number is 2 plus say 1j. So in mathematics we write I in case of imaginary value or imaginary part, but in case of Python we have to write j in place of I. Now look at the output at the right hand side. So 5 plus 2 7, and there is an addition of the imaginary part, 3 plus 1 4. So the answer is 7 plus 4j. So by looking into this program, I think you understand that the same function is operated on different data types. So we do not have to write different function for the different data type. That's mean we are reusing this code of line multiple times. Next, returning values from a function. That's mean a function will execute some line of codes, it will generate some result, and the result will be returned back from where the function has been called. So let's start with returning values. In Python we can return more than one value, but first of all let me show you how to return a single value. So here is my function definition, def. The function name is add two numbers. It is accepting two values within the variable a and b respectively. Now within the body of the function there will be a return statement. This return keyword return the result to that position where the function has been called. Look, first of all let me write a plus b. That's mean it will return the addition of a and b. The processing part is within the body of the function. Within the main code, let me declare a variable which will store the sum of two numbers. First of all, let me call the function that is add two numbers, and let me pass or send two values, say 10 and 20. From the main code, we are calling add two numbers along with these two values. So this 10 and 20 will be stored within a and b. The function will process a plus b, that is 30, and that 30 will be returned. Where it will return? It will return over here. That's mean you can say the function call along with these two number will be replaced by the result 30, and this 30 will be stored within s1 variable. After that, let me print sum1 equal to say s1. Look at the output at the right hand side, sum1 equal to 30. So when we are calling this function along with these two values, the control will move to that function. It will accept those values within this variable. It will find out the sum a and b, that is 30, and 30 will be returned from where the function has been called. So you can think that this function along with these two parameters will be replaced by the answer which is returned by the function. Now this result will be initialized within the variable s1. In the next line, print the s1 variable, you will get the result. I will suggest you to decrease the number of variables within a program. For that, there is another process of calling this kind of function. Just directly write down the print statement within quotes sum2 equal to, call the function directly over here, add two numbers. Now send 5 and 3. That's mean at the time of printing you are calling the function with two different values. So these values will be sent to the function, a and b will receive those values, it will perform the addition, and the result will be written back over here. So this portion of code will be replaced by 8, and 8 will be printed in the output. Look at the output. For the first one it is sum1 equal to 30, and for the second one sum2 equal to 8. Again I am repeating. So when we are calling add two numbers function along with these two values, 10 will be moved to a, 20 will be moved to b. So there will be a addition between a and b. Here a is 10, b is 20. So 10 plus 20, it will be 30. This 30 will be returned to the main code that is over here. So this will be replaced by 30. This 30 will be stored within this s1 variable. In the next line, when we print s1, it will give 30 in the output. Same case is happening in case of the next one, but this time I have not used any separate variable to store the result. Let me show you an example of creating our own ABS function. You know that the inbuilt ABS function converts a negative number to the positive one, and the positive one will remain same. That's mean if you write ABS of -5, it will return 5. If I write ABS of 5, it will return 5. ABS means the absolute value. Now we are going to write our own ABS function. We are not going to use the inbuilt ABS function. For that, look at the left hand side. Let me define a function, say my ABS. So within my ABS, it will accept some number, colon, then give enter. If this number is less than 0, it will return the negative of the number. If the number is -5, so it will return minus of -5, that is +5. Now, if it is not less than 0, that is either 0 or greater than 0, that is a positive number, it will return simply the number which it receives. Now move back to the main code. Within the main code, let me print and then call my ABS. Within brackets, I am writing -10. So here we are calling our own ABS function along with a negative number. Look what happened. Let me save and run the file. So it will return 10. Now if I write positive number over here, look what happened. It will also return 10. So for either cases, 10 is returning by the function. This is what the inbuilt function is doing. Next, come to global variable. Global variable, a variable declared outside of the function or in global scope, is known as global variable. In a simple way, variable declared outside the function will be considered as global variable. A global variable can be accessed inside or outside of the function. Let me show you an example first. First of all, let me declare a variable x and it is initialized with 10. Now, let me declare a function, say def, the function name is call global, first bracket open, close, colon. Now let me print the variable x inside function like this. That's mean we are accessing the variable x from within the function, and x is declared outside the function. That's why x is called global variable. So whenever we are writing a variable outside a function, that's mean this variable can be accessed anywhere within the program. Now let's move to the main code. Within the main code, let me call the global function. So when it calls the call global function, the control will move to that function and it will print inside function the value of x, that is 10. Now from within the main code, let me again print the value of x. For that, let me write the comment as from main code x equal to, here also let me write down x equal to. Now let me run the program. Look what happens. So from the main code, when it calls the function, it will print the value of x, the same value which has been initialized within x, that is 10. Now when we are calling the same variable from within the main code, that is from outside the function, it is giving the same result, that is x equal to 10. But very important point is over here that we can access a global variable from within the function. But it is not possible to update that variable. I mean to say that we cannot update a global variable within a function. That's mean if you want to increment the value of x by 2, for that I have written x equal to x plus 2. No, this operation cannot be executed. Look what happens. It will give you an error. This is called unbound local error. So whenever we are writing x equal to x plus 2 like this, it is assuming that we are creating a new variable x which is completely different from the global variable x. And since this x is treating as a local variable and it has not been initialized with any value, and that's why it is saying x referenced before assignment. That's mean if I write x equal to say 20, now look what happens. The code will execute. So a global variable can be accessed from within the function, but we cannot modify it right inside the function. It will assume this variable as a local variable and it must be initialized with some other value. So this x and this x is completely different at present. Now for that I have written We can only access the global variable but cannot modify it from inside the function. Is there any solution? Yes. The solution is the global keyword. Let me show you in the example. So in the example, let me delete this line x equal to 20. So I want to update the global variable by incrementing it with 2. So what to do? We cannot update a global variable by this technique. So for that we require a global keyword. So let me write global. This is a keyword. Then I am writing x. So global x is the line which will now allow me to update the global variable x. In other words, the global variable is saying to the function that this x is not local, this is a global variable. So before updating the global variable, we have to write this statement global x. Now let me run the program. The variable x is now incremented by 2, so 10 plus 2, 12. So from within the function, the x is 12. Since x is a global variable, so when it calls from the main method, this time also the value of x is 12. This is called the scope of a variable. Scope means in which segment of the program or in which region of the program the variable will be visible. There are three kinds of scope in Python programming language, that is global variable, local variable and non-local variable. In this video, we will discuss only about the global and the local variable. Next, come to the local variable. A variable declared inside the function body or in the local scope is known as local variable. First of all, let me show you a demonstration of a local variable. Let me create a function, say display. Within the display function, let me initialize the variable x with 10. So x is declared within the function, so it will be treated as local variable. Let me print the value of x. So for that, local x equal to say x. Now in the main code, let me call the display function. So when the display function is called, the control will move over there within the display function. It will initialize x with 10 and it will print local x equal to 10. Look what happened. It will print local x equal to 10. Now from within the main code, we want to print the value of x. So from main, x equal to, say, let me print the value of x. Look what happened, name error. X is not defined. That's mean the scope and the visibility of x is within the display function only. So we cannot access variable x from outside the function. So local variable are declared within the function and it must be used within the function. It will be operated within the function only. It cannot be used outside the function. X has no existence outside the function display. And that's why it is showing this name error. Only the global variable can be accessed anywhere from within the program. That's mean from within any function and from the main code also. But local variable cannot be accessed outside the function. Now after the display function within the main code, if I write x equal to say 20, this time the program will execute without any error. So when it calls the display function, it will print x equal to 10. And outside the function and within the main code, x is initialized with 20. So from main, it will show x equal to 20. The x declared within the display function and the x declared within the main code are completely different from each other. Now let me show you the use of global keyword in nested function. Nested function means it is possible in Python to write a function within another function. Let me demonstrate the nested function and the global keyword with the help of an example. First of all, let me declare a function named as outside. It has a local variable x equal to say 20. Within this outside function, let me define another function, that is inside. Within this inside, let me declare a global variable x and it is initialized with 25. Now come out from the inside function. Let me print before calling inside, the value of x is x. Now in the next line, call the inside function and after that, let's print this line after calling inside, x is the variable x. So these three lines are inside outside function. Look at the indentation. I think you will understand that x equal to 20 and these three lines are within the outside function, and this inside function is also within the outside function. Now from the main code, let me call the outside function, and from the main code let me print the value of x. Let's see what it gives. So from main, value of x is x. So go through this code very carefully. Look at over here. From the main code, we are calling the outside function. That means the control will move to the outside function. So within the outside function, the first line is x equal to 20. That means 20 will be initialized within x. Then it will skip this function because until and unless the inside function is called, it can't be executed implicitly. So move to the next line. So here it will print, before calling inside x, it will print the value of x. So it will print the value of x which has been declared or initialized within outside function, that is 20. So here 20 will be printed. So in this line the value of x is 20. Now in the next line the inside function has been called. So when the inside is called, the control will move to the inside function. Here it will declare a global variable x. There is no existence of x elsewhere. So it will create a new variable x and it is global. That x will be initialized with 25. Be careful, the x within the outside function and the x within the inside function are completely different. This is local to the outside function and this is a global variable x. Now after completing the execution of inside function, the control will again return back to the next line where the function has been called. So the control will return back to this line. So here after calling inside x, what will be the value of x over here? It will be 20. So whenever there is a local variable with the same name with the global variable, the value of the local variable will be printed only. That means x is global and its value is 25. But within the outside function, already there is a local variable whose name is also x and it is initialized with 20. If the local variable has the same name with the global variable will be overridden by the local variable. That means the value of the global variable will be suppressed and the local variable will be displayed over here. So for this time also, x will be displayed as 20. Now after completing this outside function, the control will again move back over here, that is to the main code. And from main we have written x equal to x. Since this x has been accessed from outside the function outside, so it will print the value of the global variable which has been declared within this inside function, that is 25. So here the 25 will be printed. Look at the output at the right hand side. So from the main code, outside function has been called. So the control moves to the outside function x20. It will skip this function. Now it will print this line before calling inside. So the value of x will be over here 20. Now then it calls the inside function. The control move to the inside function. Here it will declare a global variable x and x is initialized with 25. Now after completing its inside function, it will return back to the outside function again and the control will come over here. After calling inside, x is also 20 because x has been printed within the outside function, and within the outside function x is 20, not 25. So whenever there is a local variable has the same name with the global name, the value will be printed for the local variable only. So after completing the outside function, it will return back to the main code, and from the main function, when I'm printing the value of x, it will print the global value, that is 25. Now if I disable this line, that is the inside calling, that means it will never call this function. So no global variable will be created. This time when I print the value of x from the main code, it will show me an error. Name error x is not defined. Since x equal to 20 is a local variable of outside function, so it cannot be accessed outside the function. Now I am going to write a program which will generate prime numbers between 100 to 200. So for that, def, say I'm writing check prime. This function will check whether a number is prime or not. It will not check for all the numbers. It will check only for a single number. So within this check prime, let me accept a number first. So n is the parameter over here. I think you know how to check the prime number. A prime number has two factors, 1 and the number itself. Suppose the value of n is 7. So 1 and 7, there are only two factors. So in a prime number, we are going to check the number of factors. If the number of factor is 2, that means the number is prime. And if the number of factors is other than 2, then the number is not prime. So to count the number of factors, let me take a variable, say c equal to 0. So this is a counter which will count the number of factors. Now let me run a loop which ranges from 1 to up to that number. So to run the loop from 1 up to n, I have to give n plus 1. Now let me check whether n is divisible by I or not. If it is equal to 0, that means if the remainder is 0, that corresponding I is the factor of n. So we will increment the counter by 1 if this condition satisfies. Then come out from the loop. We will check whether c equal to 2 or not. If c equal to 2, that means it is a prime, so we will return true. And if it is other than true, so in the else part, we will return false. Now come to the main code. Here the problem is given like this. We have to generate prime numbers between 100 to 200. For that, I have to again run a loop for I in range 100 to 200. No, it will be 201. Now if call the function check prime and within bracket send the parameter I, and if it is equal to true, it will print the corresponding I. That means the first value of I is 100, so it will send the 100 to the check prime function. This check prime function will accept 100 within n, and according to the logic it will find the number of factors of 100. If the number of factors is equal to 2, it will return true, otherwise it will return false. For the 100, it will return false because it has more than 2 factors. So it will return false in place of this function calling. So false can't be equal to true, so 100 will not be printed in the output. Next, the value of I will be 101. Then again the function has been called with the value 101. So 101 will be passed to the function check prime. Again n will be initialized with 101. Again it will check for prime number whether 101 is prime or not. If it is prime, then it will send true, otherwise it will return false. So according to this checking within the main code, it will print the corresponding I. Let me run the code first. Look, it has printed all the prime numbers between 100 to 200. You can also omit this true in the condition checking because the if block execute whenever it finds true. So you do not have to specify whether it is equal to true or not. So you can write like this: if check prime I, it will automatically understood that it is equal to true. So if it is true, it will print the corresponding I. Look, I'm again running the program. It will give me the same output, nothing difference. Now, Python supports 3 types of formal arguments or parameters. They are positional argument, it is also called required arguments, default arguments, and the keyword or named arguments. We have already seen about the positional argument. So in this slide, I will discuss about the default argument. First of all, let me create a function, say interest. So let the formal parameters are p, r, and t. Now it will return p multiply r multiply t divided by 100. Now come to the main code. So within the main code, let me print, say, interest equal to, call the interest function along with the actual parameter. Let me send principal as, say, 5000. Let the rate be 2.5 and time 10 years. Now if I run the program, it will send all these actual parameter to the formal parameter P, R and T. 5000 will be initialized within P, then 2.5 will be initialized within R, 10 will be initialized within T. And by receiving these values, this calculation will be performed and it will be returned by the function interest. So the value 1250 will be printed in the output. So this is what we called the positional argument. So each and every formal parameter will be initialized according to the value mentioned in the actual parameter. The position will be matched and the corresponding value will be initialized within the formal parameter. Now, suppose I do not want to mention the time. So what will happen? P will receive the value 5000, R will receive the value 2.5 and there is nothing for T. So this will give me an error. This is called type error, missing one required positional argument T. So the positional argument T is missing. Now if I write T equal to 1, that's mean it is a default value for the T. If I do not mention any time during the function call, it will assume T equal to 1. So this is called and this default value will be maintained from right to left. We cannot assign the default value for R until and unless there is a default value for T. We cannot assign a default value for P until and unless R and T has some default value. Now if I run the program, now it will calculate the interest with principal 5000, rate 2.5 and time T equal to 1. Now if you are trying to initialize the default value of the rate as 2 and you are not giving any default value for the T, so what will happen? Again 5000 will be initialized within P. This 2.5, since we are sending a 2.5 in the second position, so the second position of the formal parameter is R. So these two, the default value 2 will be ignored and 2.5 will be initialized within R, and again there will be no value for the T, and that's why it will give you a syntactical error. Now if I write T equal to 1, so there will be no problem. Look, it will run accordingly. You can assign default value for all these three formal parameters. So if you do not send any value from the function calling, it will calculate the interest by taking P equal to 100, R equal to 2 and T equal to 1. But if I write 5000 for the principal, rate is 2.5 and let the time be 10 years. So as I have mentioned the values during the function call, all these three default value will be ignored. And be careful, default value will be assigned from right to left. Let me run the program. So it will calculate by taking the values which are sent from the main code. So it ignored the default value. Next, keyword named arguments. Keyword arguments are the named argument with assigned values being passed in the function call statement. Let me describe it by taking the previous example. Look at the example at the left hand side. Here I have written DEF interest. The default values are set for R, T and P, that is for rate, time and principal. So from the main code, here the interest function has been called with R equal to 25 and P equal to 5000. That's mean at the time of function calling, when we are sending these values, we are assigning some variable for these values. The same variable has been used in the function declaration. So look at the function declaration. Here it is R, T and P, but we are sending from the main only the value of rate and the value of the principal. That's mean R and P has been initialized. So we are sending R and P. So the function, the interest function, ignore the default value of R and P. So R will be considered as 2.5 and P as 5000. Since we have not sent the value of T, so the default value will be considered, that is T equal to 1. By taking R equal to 2.5, P equal to 5000 and T equal to 1, it will calculate the interest and return the corresponding result. By declaring a variable during sending values to the function, this is called keyword name arguments. And there is also an advantage that you can also write the T, P and R in a haphazard manner, or you do not have to maintain any sequence. So let me write the time first. Suppose the time is 10 years. The rate is 2.5 and the principal is 5,000. Look here, the rate is at the beginning, t is at the middle, and p is at the right hand side. So whatever your sequence, it will identify or match the arguments according to the named arguments. We have already named this argument as p, r, t. So it will match with the arguments. So p will be initialized with p, r will be initialized with r, and t will be initialized with t. So we do not have to worry about the sequence or the order of the parameters in case of keyword named arguments. So let me run the program. So the interest is 1250. So if I delete the rate, it will execute the interest or calculate the interest by taking t equal to 10, p equal to 5000 and rate equal to 1, because I have not sent the value of rate during the function call. Let me show you another feature of function, that is it can return multiple values. That's mean returning multiple values from a function. First of all, let me define a function, say df arithmetic. Parameters of the functions are suppose a and b. This function returns 4 value at a time, that is the sum of a and b, the difference between a and b, the product of a and b, and the a divided by b. So these 4 results are returned by this function arithmetic. Now from the main method, we have to receive all these 4 results in 4 different variables at a time. So from the main code, let me show you how to do this. Suppose I am writing 4 variable add, then subtract, then product. So I am writing prod, then the division div, and this 4 variable will be initialized with, let me call the function with say 10 and 5 with these 2 values. So when we are calling arithmetic function, it will send 10 and 5 to the variable ab. So a will receive the value 10 and b will receive the value 5. So the control will go over there, a and b will be initialized with 10 and 5, and this 4 calculation will be done in a single line of statement, and all these 4 results will be written by a single return statement. So 10 plus 5 means 15, 10 minus 5, 5, 10 multiply 5, 50, and when 10 divided by 5, it will give you 2. So 15, 5, 50 and 2 will be written at a time, and you can think that this will be replaced by 15, 5, 50 and 2. So this 15 will be initialized within add variable, this 5 will be initialized within sub variable, this 50 will be initialized with prod variable, and 2 will be initialized within div variable. So if we print these 4 variables separately, we will get the result separately. Let me print the sum equal to say add, next print difference equal to sub, then print product equal to prod, and finally print division equal to div. Let me save the file and run the file. Look, 5, 15, 5, 50 and 2 is in the output. Let me tell you one thing, be very careful about this thing. We cannot use 4 return statement for 4 different operation. This is not acceptable. So what will happen in this case? So the function will be called, okay fine, no problem. So 10 and 5 will be initialized within a and b. So from this point of line, it will return the control to the main code. So after executing 10 plus 5, 15, the control will return back to the main code. And what will happen for the rest of the operation? These 3 lines will be not be executed after first return statement, after executing the first return statement. So the last 3 return statement will never execute. So whenever you have to return a more than 1 values, so you have to write in a single line. Look what happened if I run this program. It will give you a type error. Cannot unpack a non-iterable int object. This arithmetic function cannot unpack the values for the sub, prod and div variable. The last feature of the function in this presentation is the none value returned by the function. That's mean here I am going to show you when a function return none. For that, let me define a function, say my function, def my function, no parameters within the function, and within the print statement, suppose I am writing hello. Now from the main code, from within the main code, I am calling the function, say print within bracket my function, bracket open, bracket close, and close the parenthesis of the print. Now it will return none. When I am writing the my function within the print statement, that means it is expecting some values to be returned by this my function. When the my function has been called, the control goes to the my function and there it will print the hello. Look at the output, it prints hello. So after returning from the function, since nothing has been returned from the function, only the control has been returned to the main code, so nothing to display over here, so it is printing none. If I write return in place of print, look what happened, it will return the hello and this print statement print that hello in the output. Look, the hello has been printed in the output. But if nothing has been returned by the my function, so the whatever is written over here has been printed within the function only. So this time nothing has been written, so it will return only the none value. Let me give you some exercise so that you can use the features of function that I have shown you in this presentation. The first one is write a program to find all the perfect numbers between 1 to 100. Write the perfect number checking in separate function. I think you know about the perfect number. A perfect number is a number whose sum of the factors excluding the number itself will be equal to the original number. That means 6. The factor of 6 is 1, 2 and 3. We are not going to consider the 6. Only 1, 2 and 3, these factors are to be considered. Sum of this factor 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is equal to 6, and that is equal to the original number. So you have to find all such number from 1 to 100. Next, write a Python function to sum all the numbers in a list. That's mean you have to take a list from user input which contains n number of elements, and those elements will be integers. You have to find the sum of all those numbers within that list. Next, write a program to accept n number within a list, and you have to create a maxmin, a single function which will return the maximum and minimum value within the list. List should be passed as a function parameter. The next exercise is write separate function that accept a decimal number from user and return the equivalent binary, octal and hexadecimal value. So we have to create separate functions for decimal to binary, decimal to octal and decimal to hexadecimal value. And finally, write a program to accept n numbers in a list. Create a function which will find the HCF of any two numbers. Use this function to find the HCF of all the number within the list. Try to solve this exercise of your own by using all these properties that I have shown you earlier, and you can post your program in the comment box. And after that, if you have any problem, feel free to write me. Thank you.